apologize for being late, and if this has already been covered, but I read an article in Military Today, front page, talking about opioids. It said 116 Americans die every day from opioid overdose. Is that jive with the numbers you all are seeing?
The numbers we've seen are a little higher.
So over 100 a day are dying, and we're debating the urgency of rules like this.
All right,
From Mexico, this isn't going to stop.
all right, we're going to go to non-members, and we'll recognize seat 86, which I think is our Senator Constant.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate that, and I know that we're worried about those people that are abusing the drug, and we hate the fact that some people are going to overdose no matter what the drug is that they're going to use, and they're going to use it. They're going to find a way, and I hate that. But we're also worried about the people I think we're talking about, the proper use of the drug and how we handle that. And I think that's what we're discussing, is making sure that doctors can treat patients. I think that's where we're trying to make sure that we don't tighten the reins so tight. I think that's where we're being cautious. I think we all want to make sure that we're not handing out drugs for improper use. But I think we're trying to make sure that we don't tighten the reins too tight so that doctors can treat their patients properly. So the reason I drove down here today, and I'm not on this committee, so thank you, Mr. Chair, for letting me speak, because it's a long ways for me to drive from Northeast Arkansas. But on behalf of my constituents and those across the state that have called to me, the concern is for those patients who have been treated properly by their doctors, who have a quality of life because that particular drug works for them. And they have great concerns. They've been in pain before to the point where they had absolutely no quality of life. They couldn't work, they couldn't function. And their doctors fit in that group of doctors that are, I have one doctor that says they'll continue to treat, or the patient says so, and my constituent, and the others have that perceived fear that they're going to be written up or lose their license, and they're not going to be treated. They're going to do what they can to not be using an opioid drug. And so they're in that perceived, I see them as that perceived fear, and they're going to try to quit treating. So whoever handles this PMP, to me, lies part of our problem. And that I don't hear anyone today talking about that part of the issue and how we handle that. And why is that not part of this discussion at this point before this vote today? And that concerns me, that that's not a strong and very much a part of this whole discussion. And so I think, Mr. Chair, I would say, mention that. I would ask you about that before we vote here in just a moment. I'd like to hear a little bit about that, because that has to be part of the conversation. Those people that have been successful in working and or have some quality of life with their families and can help see their grandchildren or play with them or not want to just die. And that particular drug works for them. I guess we just can't throw them to the curb, because I'm afraid you're going to see those people die, Senator Hendren. And we got to remember those people as well. And they have value in their life as well. And I want to speak on behalf of those people. So if you could speak to that.
Certainly. I will tell you that for the legitimate paying patients, this regulation will have no effect, should have no effect on their prescribing.
Well,
That's not what it was intended to do. In fact, this is the roadmap for physicians to be able to continue to treat their patients as they've been treating them in an effective, safe, appropriate way. And it just spells out, if you do these things, which you should already be doing, you're good. So the perceived fear, I can't really respond to that, because a lot of it, quite frankly, is not legitimate fear.
But you have to speak to the PMP, because no one's speaking to that. Apparently that's real. It's there.
And the PDMP, let me say the PDMP is a very good program. It has been very good. It has, and for the physicians and the dentists that I've spoken to, all had a lot of apprehension about the PDMP and its implementation and the workload create. Every one of them that I've spoken to now that it's been in place are loved it. They view it as a very effective tool that assists them in treating their patients. The PDMP is not the only reason that I've heard that physicians are pulling back on their prescribing. It's also the perceived fear of action by the DEA, federal government, federal prosecutors. There's a whole lot of fear out there that, quite frankly, is, it's a little over the top based on the evidence. But